Live from Lagos, Nigeria, this is Lunchtime Politics. I'm Jeffrey Uzong, and let's bring you up to speed with the big happenings in politics and in the polity right here at midday. President Bola Tinubu promises to continue motivating the Nigerian armed forces to inspire better outcome as he nominates former CDS General Christopher Musa to serve as new defense minister. Adebayo emerges as People's Democratic Party governorship candidate in Osun State ahead of the 2026 polls following resignation of Governor Adebayo from the party. The state chapter of the party kicks against its emergence. Thanks again for joining us on the program. We'll give you all-access pass to the big happenings in our politics at midday. President Bola Tinubu has now demanded greater efficiency in strategies and results in the ongoing fight against insecurity in some parts of Nigeria. The president made the demand when he met with heads of intelligence agencies and service chiefs at the State House. The president also vows to transform what he calls unstable zones into hubs of economic activities. He said this when he launched the 2026 Armed Forces Remembrance Day appeal emblem at the presidential villa in Abuja.
Grateful nation, we must honor the fallen, support the wounded, and create and care for all who answer the call to serve. As President and Commander-in-Chief, I remain committed to equipping and motivating our military. Security is a central pillar of the Renew Hope agenda.
Meanwhile, the president had earlier nominated General Christopher Musa to serve as Nigeria's new Minister of Defense. In a letter addressed to the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, President Tinubu recommended General Musa as the replacement for Mohammed Badaru, who resigned on Monday. The president expressed strong confidence in General Musa's capacity to lead the defense ministry and further enhance Nigeria's security framework. And away from that, a coalition of Lagos professionals known as ECO United have launched a Progressive Lagos Initiative, a platform designed to enable experts across the sector to contribute to governance and policy development in the state. The convener of the ECO United Progressives Lagos Initiative, Mr. Wale Olungodoye, says the platform is to support Mr. Abdulaziz Adediran, also known as Jandor, as the next governor of Lagos State.
The race for the 2027 governorship and presidential elections are gradually gathering pace as the ECO United unveils the Progressive Lagos Initiative. The ECO United is a coalition of Lagos professionals and innovators driving progressive governance, and they have come out in one voice to show their support for their own courageous and visionary leader, Abdulaziz Adediran, to run as the next governor of Lagos State.
We met with him as a team and informed him of our unanimous decision to adopt him as the beacon that signposts the practical path to actualizing the Lagos we all desire. He wholeheartedly accepted and stated his readiness. President, on two key points. One is for the Progressive Lagos Initiative to give similar resounding support for President Tinubu's re-election come 2027.
Progressive Lagos Initiative applauds former and the current administration in Lagos, but emphasizes that the next governor of the state must be carefully selected to sustain its blueprint of a greater city.
We must commend the successive administration in Lagos. They've done well, but the professionals in Lagos have the opportunity now to contribute their own quota to the development of Lagos.
We have decided to look around and see who best fits this responsibility. And there's no question in my mind, Jandor of Lagos, on all checks, ticks all the boxes.
The convener of the Eco United Progressive Lagos Initiative says professionals must begin to get involved in politics and support a candidate that can build a better future for Lagos.
We've noticed previously that the professionals and elites of the state do not physically get involved in the electoral process, and we're saying that should change. We found Dr. Abdulaziz Olajide as the candidate, Dando of Lagos as properly called, as that person who embodies our values. Why? Because he's young, fresh ideas, energetic, and there's a freshness that you bring into governance that governance needs today that will take Lagos to the next level.
Eco United Progressive Lagos Initiative believes the grassroots have long sustained the state's political structure, but PLI reaffirms its stand in changing the narrative for Lagos professionals to play a more active role and rally support for their own choice of candidate that they believe can run the affairs of Lagos State come 2027.
I was just talking politics, and this time let's go to Osun State, where the National Working Committee of the party, that's the PDP, has declared Olubenga Adebayo as the winner of the party's governorship primary election conducted in the state's capital on Tuesday. Reacting to the development, the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Adewale Egbedu, alongside some members of the Assembly, condemned it, describing the exercise as illegal. This comes hours after the governor, Ademola Adeleke, officially declared his resignation from the People's Democratic Party.
The candidate that got the remaining of the Adebayo 919 votes. He stands elected and returned. We received a message 2 or 3 days ago that there's going to be a Congress. Well, we were waiting for them, and eventually we received another message that the Congress has been postponed. Now today, they came all the way from Oyo State. If Governor Seyi Makinde, this is a message to Governor Seyi Makinde, if Governor Seyi Makinde is desperate to become president come 2027, he should use another state as a tool, not Osun State. We are PDP members, bona fide PDP members, in a state whereby we have 25 House of Assembly members, a speaker, we have 5 House of Rep members, we have a senator, and a governor from another state will come to our state to dictate for us. We won't take that. We won't take that.
Let's bring in the candidates who emerged from that exercise. Olubenga Adebayo joins us virtually from Osun State, Osogbo, the state capital. Mr. Adebayo, thank you for coming on the program. Mr. Adebayo, can you hear me?
Good afternoon, my brother.
Good afternoon. Fantastic. So maybe congratulations are in order.
I can hear you.
Fantastic. Congratulations are in order, but it's meshed in a lot of controversy. So let's begin to unpack what played out. So yesterday, the primaries held, and there's been a loss within 24 hours before that moment. First, Governor Ademola Adeleke, who had actually, we understand, had bought the form for the primaries, had already resigned, I think, on the 4th of November, but we saw that letter yesterday. I had a conversation with Mr. Alimi, the Commissioner of Information. So that happened, and then the primaries held, and I know that I think Mr. Bisi also, who is the chairman of the party in the state, had said, look, because of what is playing out at the national level, whatever it is, that they are holding off on the Congress to elect the governorship candidate. Well, the Congress went on, organized by the NWC, and now you have emerged as a candidate of the party. The House of Assembly, which is predominantly a PDP, has now said they were not part of this whole exercise. So in their view, perhaps it's illegal, led by, I think, the Speaker also, if I'm correct on that. What do you make of what is playing out and the controversy surrounding your emergence?
Thank you, my brother. In the first place, only the National Working Committee of the party has the right to conduct primary in any election. And secondly, the Speaker is not a delegate in the said election, and he does not have any local standing to be at the premises of the election because he's not one of the delegates. And in a party that will have the likes of the Olagun Soyoyinlola as a leader, a young person like the speaker cannot be claiming the leadership of the party. And that's all. I don't think I can comment more about the speaker comment. That's his own personal opinion.
So let's talk about the division that is in your party, because that is a claim. I think Mr. Bisi, if I got his name correctly, who is the chairman of the party in the state, was he part of this exercise, by the way?
Oh, my brother, I told you earlier, it's the responsibility of the National Working Committee to conduct primaries.
No, I understand
in a place where, hello,
yes,
in a
I
place
understand
where
that. Yes.
the state, okay, in a place where the said party chairman in the state is biased, as throwing his towel to support a candidate. So I don't need to ask for his opinion. I have my right to fill my form at the national level, which I've done. I went through screening and I was screened. So, and the National Working Committee came down to Osogbo to conduct the primary. Even the chairman is not a delegate in that election. So,
you know,
and for your information,
Mr. Adebayo,
okay,
if I may comment, my apologies. You're a politician, so let's talk politics. Let's talk about, of course, the NWC has the powers to conduct primaries.
Yeah.
It's the NWC that will conduct. Even the NWC matter is still a contentious issue because there is a Wike-led group who have expelled some members of this NWC, and then the NWC has also expelled Wike and even given them expulsion letter. So it's a mixed bag of conundrum in that sense. But let's stay with Osun for a moment. How confident are you going into this exercise? The reason I ask is, of course, if the governor was there, perhaps he would have taken the ticket because he has the right of first refusal. It's a conventional thing people do in parties. And then if the governor now has decided to leave the party, we don't know his destination yet. At least he hasn't said it publicly. And then their assumption is to the effect that we expect that members of the assembly who are members of the PDP right now will naturally follow suit. Perhaps the party chairman may also follow suit. So who is your team that will make this happen for you? I'm curious to know.
Brother, the people are solidly behind me, the people of Osun State. And I depend on the youth of Osun State to rise to my support, in which I've been part of them in the past. And I know for sure that they are supporting me. When you have the people behind you, you don't need to fear any individual, no matter how highly placed the person is. The people will determine who becomes the governor. And I have the people behind me. And this is an agenda whose time has come. Nobody can stop it, my brother.
You know, yes, ideally, we know the people decide who becomes whoever in any political space. That is the ideal situation. But in Nigeria, sometimes the more you look, the less you see. One of the accusations they are making is that you are backed by Seyi Makinde, the governor of Oyo State, and they are saying if Seyi Makinde wants to be president, he's not going to use Osun State as a breeding ground. Do you have any strong backing by Governor Seyi Makinde, as alluded to by some of the comments by the leaders, some of the leaders of the party in the state?
My brother, Engineer Seyi Makinde, is the leader of the party in Southwest. So no matter everybody in PDP must acknowledge that Engineer Seyi Makinde is the leader of the party. So, and I don't think he is part of any whatever statement that has been made by the speaker. That's his own personal opinion. I think you can reach Engineer Seyi Makinde. But for me, I'm being backed by God.
There are 3 C's that are always called up whenever it comes to election. I'm going to talk to the numbers now and some other issues. Character, competence, capacity. If I ask you a direct question, do you have competence? Do you have the capacity? Do you have the character of what it takes to be a governor in a state like Osun? Do you think you do? If you say yes, why do you think you do?
Definitely, I have the three. I've been a PDP member since 2000, year 2000, and I've never defected to any other party. The character on that, I have it. So I think in any area, I'm the candidate to beat in this election.
I mentioned 3 C's: character, capacity, competence. You haven't told me anything about capacity and competence. So character, perhaps you say, okay, you've been consistent, as that is a conviction. It's rare to see any politicians that have stayed that long, because people just keep defecting. You haven't told me what your competence are, what your pedigree in terms of competence and capacity to be able to handle this high-ranking office of a governor in the first place.
In terms of confidence, my brother, I have confidence that I will win the election. In terms of capacity, I have capacity to win the election in no area. I'm a businessman, and I've been to agriculture for the past 25 years of my life. I've been into entertainment. So I make my money legally. And with support of people of like mind, I think my capacity is funded.
What is it in Osun State right now that you think is wrong and you want to fix, and how do you want to fix it? Give me just 2 things. Let me, I'm sure that's what you campaign on. The people are going to ask you that question. You want to contest against Adebayo,
Thank you, my brother. The first thing I would like to change is agriculture, food security. Because I mean, agri should be seen as a business that can earn the state revenue. The way they do agriculture in Osun State is not up to international standard, in which I'm coming to put a more collaborative effort with my team that will put Osun State as a state that is dependable and is reliable in agribusiness.
Okay, let's go back to the politics, because if I want to talk about issues, we're going to stay here for a long time. But it's not time yet. You just won the candidacy.
My brother, I'm here for you.
Yeah,
any issue you are bringing.
It's early in the day. We haven't probed data, because when it comes to that point, we're going to talk numbers and data, which you have to be prepared for. But let's talk about a few things as we begin to wind down. And that has to do with the trend. I'll walk you through a trend and ask you about your chances. Now, I'm basing what I'm saying on facts and figures and numbers to say your chances at winning this election is very slim. I'll tell you why if you hold on for a moment.
I disagree with you.
No, just that's why I say I'll tell you why if you hold on for a moment, so you can put your own position to counter it. So there has been six off-cycle election, governorship election. Now, when you look at the numbers, I'm working with numbers here. The Bayelsa State, where the PDP won the last time, the PDP won with 176,000 against the APC 110. So out of the 6 off-cycle governorship election, PDP has won 1, and that's an incumbent governor. Now, the next place PDP did a bit of good showing was in Edo State, and that also was the situation where we had an incumbent PDP governor in that election who had somebody, of course, is supporting as a PDP candidate as Igodalo, and that's when APC won that election with some margin of votes, over 200,000 on both sides of APC and PDP. Those were the only good times of PDP. After that, PDP has been on a consistent decline of all other off-cycle elections. Kogi, PDP scored 46,000 against the winner, 446,000. Imo, PDP scored 71,000 against APC, 540,000. Ondo, which is your region, PDP scored 97,000 against 301,000. In Anambra, I was on the field in Anambra. PDP scored 1,400, and came 5th or 6th position as against the winner of that election that won with 400 and something thousand. So I established this trend to say it's been going worse for the PDP, especially when PDP is not an incumbent governor of the state. Now, Ademola Adeleke is seeking re-election. He has left the party. Do you have a chance based on what I've analyzed?
My brother, Osun State has been a PDP state right from the onset. The only time Osun lose the grip of power in Nigeria is through the back door when let me recollect when Governor Adebayo took over power through the Court of Appeal then. So Osun State people are PDP lover, and I know by the grace of God they're going to back me to be their governor in 2026 election.
Well, I like your optimism. You know, the APC is very interested in winning that state. I think Mishore also is one wants to come out. I don't know who is going to be the candidate of the party, by the way. And in fact, it's one of the reasons the governor had a difficult time even defecting to the APC. So are you confident of an outcome? Or what's your strategy to beat the war chest of the ruling party from the top?
My brother, I cannot be discussing my strategies of how to win the election. But what I can tell you that by God's grace, I'm winning the election.
Interesting. Mr. Olubenga Adebayo, thank you so much for coming on the program. And what we will always say is we wish you the very best. It's the early days. More days will come. We'll also have a very robust conversation as to program and plan, where we'll talk numbers and figures and practical ways to solve problems as far as Osun State is concerned. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program. We appreciate it.
Thank you, my brother. You're welcome.
Mr. Olubenga Adebayo is the governorship candidate that emerged just yesterday for the People's Democratic Party ahead of the 2026 governorship election in Osun State. Let's tell you more on what's playing out, that the People's Redemption Party in Abia State has received a fresh wave of defectors, including several executive members of the Social Democratic Party ahead of the 2027 general elections. Receiving the defectors, the PRP Secretary in Omar, the caretaker committee chairman of the party in the state, Daniel Dem, formally welcomed the new members as the party intensifies efforts to strengthen its grassroots presence across the state.
Welcome the SDP executives from Abia South who are defecting today to join our noble party, PRP. We are happy to have you on board. And I believe that this is a testament of the democratic values that PRP has. PRP is the party that is going to redeem Abia come 2027 election. You can see what is happening. It's not only SDP that is defecting to PRP. After SDP defection, we are still going to welcome other parties.
My people are tired to going to court, fighting left and right, dissolving left and right. That's why we look down and look up and decide to join PRP for them to move the state and the party forward. I'm here today to say no more to SDP. We are in the PRP.
And outside our shores, at a joint briefing of the United States Congress, lawmakers and expert witnesses firmly rejected claims that the killings and mass displacement in Nigeria are driven by resource disputes. Instead, they warned that extremist groups are exploiting religious laws and enforcement bodies operating in northern Nigeria, deepening what they describe as a growing campaign of persecution. U.S. legislators were urged to pressure the Nigerian government to abolish Sharia criminal codes in the 12 northern states where they have been implemented, and to disband the Hizbut religious police. Senior fellow at the Council of Foreign Relations, Dr. Ebenezer Obadare, told the bipartisan panel that Boko Haram, ISWAP, and radicalized militant groups continue to use these structures to impose extremist ideology, carry out forced conversions, and operate with impunity. The briefing, held in response to President Donald Trump's recent redesignation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern, features stark warning from both Republicans and Democrats. Lawmakers accused the Nigerian government of failing to stop large-scale killings, kidnappings, and attacks on religious communities, and urged Washington to maintain pressure, including potential condition on U.S. aid until stronger action is taken. And that's it on the program. Thank you for your time and company. I'm Jeffrey Uzongo. You've been served on Lunchtime Politics. Bye-bye.